Galamera, Galamera, Galamera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just thought I'd show you my 60th birthday present. And up on the wall now, the lovely Janie May and I had some help yesterday, and we managed to get the pictures up on the wall, and they look absolutely fantastic. If anybody wants to commission any pictures, a lovely lady by the name of Mary Maurice. She's the wife of Just Ray, the singer. She's an excellent little artist, and she'll do a commission for you. And they look absolutely fantastic, and they're rather unique as well. So there you go. Cheers for that. Looking out on the day then, weather is absolutely a bit cloudy. As you can see across the road, we've got people working away, sorting out the olive harvest at the moment. They've been very busy. So here we are, people still working, doing the olives. As for the skies and the sun, yesterday we actually had really nice weather later in the day. It was absolutely beautiful. Hoping it's going to liven up again. A big shout out to Steve Hinckley and also Brian Wenlock, who are looking at the moment. But the weather at the moment, oh look, there's even somebody paragliding at the moment. Now, is there rules about that going on? Now, I've got to be honest, I can't see too much through my screen at the moment because my tablet is saying storage almost full, you must delete files. And I've been looking to try and delete files, and God knows where I can find these files. I've cleared the memory. Nearly all my photographs have been removed from my tablet. I'm not even sure if you're seeing this message. And I've also noticed as well that I can't even switch the screen round so you can actually see my face this morning as well. Now, I've got to be honest, there's a lot in the news today, and it is a little bit COVID heavy. As you're aware, yesterday the UK created Tier 4. Yeah, and unfortunately Tier 4 is the location that my mum is in at the moment. So effectively Christmas for her has been cancelled. The plan was she was supposed to be going up to my brother's for Christmas Day. I don't know if she's been told the news or anything else like that at the moment. But one thing is for sure, the little show that I'm going to do for my mum's nursing home takes on a whole new dimension as they go into this really extreme lockdown that's going to occur over the Christmas period. So anyway, just a heads up, the show today, news-wise, is very COVID heavy because I just feel we're slowly being set up for maybe another level of lockdown coming to us here in Greece. That is already now happening in the UK, and as we've seen over the last few weeks, whatever Britain seems to do, we seem to follow a little bit behind at some point. So and again, already things are happening in other parts of the country which are just reinforcing that maybe things are about to take another turn. Anyway, let's have a quick look at what's been going on today. 43 of the lockdown. It's the 20th of December and it's a Sunday for those keeping records. COVID in the last 24 hours then, we've had 901 new infections which were recorded. Total to date now is 130,485, of which 52% are male. Now, 6 new cases were detected on border entries to the country, and 2 further cases were confirmed after visitors to the country voluntarily asked for testing. All right. However, those numbers are down technically from yesterday, where it was 8. But then again, these 2 other people that went for testing voluntary, I don't know if they're included within that 6. All right. Anyway, the Zakynthos General Hospital has also been just clarifying, well, they've been clarifying a few things at the moment, and I'll come on to that a little bit later. But as regards to COVID infections, the Zakynthos General Hospital has had its 3rd case in a week, it says, and is giving a little bit more information. There was the 40-year-old who tested positive on Monday that we told you about from a close family environment where he picked up the virus. Then there was the 39-year-old woman who had mild symptoms, who is already at home in a 14-day quarantine. And then last Tuesday, another 38-year-old, also from a close family environment, of the 40-year-old man who was diagnosed on the earlier in the week. She tested positive. She felt unwell, visited the hospital, then underwent testing, And after a while, the 38-year-old woman learned that she was positive and has already been sent home on 14-day quarantine as well. So there again, so we've got 3 cases here on the island at the moment that we know of. Anyway, as regarding deaths, there's been 58 new deaths across the country, raising the overall death toll in Greece to 4,102. And the average age is 79 of those people. Critical cases in hospital at the moment, 534, 369 male, 165 female, all with underlying conditions, 66% of them, and over the age of 70, although there are some people younger who haven't got any underlying conditions as well. Anyway, Professor of Environmental Engineering at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, his name I'm going to try and say it, Zakynthos Hospital, he said, or he warned that there is concern that the northern island of Thasos will be among other regions such as West Attica, Attica, Konzeni, Kadistar, Lasira and Chiros that will see a surge of infections after the Christmas period. Anyway, the northern city of Kozani, located west of Thessaloniki, is the largest area in Greece to enter a hard lockdown, joining West Attica regions of Epicena, Asparagou and Miranda, and has already gone under the strict measures due to spiralling infection rates. Now, another little aside as well is the Oxford University AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine is expected to be approved by the UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency on December the 28th or 29th, after the final data is given to the British regulator tomorrow on Monday. Now, if all goes well, approval by the EU's regulatory body should follow soon afterwards, allowing the vaccine to be added to the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, soon to be used within European countries. Now, Greece has already pre-ordered quantities of the Oxford vaccine, which has the advantage of being able to be stored in normal refrigerators, unlike the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, which needs to be stored at -70. And Greece has gone out and bought a load of super fridges to be able to cope with that vaccine. Anyway, with a view of preventing the possibility of a third wave of the pandemic, health authorities are resorting to mass nationwide random testing on Monday the 28th to monitor the spread of the coronavirus. Now, according to Giannis Magakinis, who's an assistant professor of medicine at the Athens University and a member of the government committee of experts who basically advise the government, a testing platform is going to be online, and it's called testing.gov.gr. Now, that actually should have gone up on Friday, and as of from Monday, rapid test applications can then start to be done. Now, interested parties must fill in their details, while the application will register with a verification code that will be sent to their mobile phone. Those that are selected randomly will be informed by SMS about the time window and location where they can be tested. Anyway, the first group that will be notified will be on what we would call in Britain Boxing Day, or the 26th of December, and the first appointments will take place on December the 28th. The professor also said that there will be 386 testing points around the country, which will be able to perform 12,000 tests per day. Now, he also further stressed, if you help us, we'll be able to prevent a third pandemic wave together. So anyway, also a bit of local news then, racing through the news this morning. This is quite important. After the news the other day about problems in the Zakynthos General Hospital, there was an extraordinary general meeting last week, and the minutes of that meeting were posted online and also into the local press for everybody to read. The General Hospital of Zakynthos has announced in the local press yesterday that they want to clarify the completely false and criminal, inaccurate public posts on social media regarding the staffing of the clinics at the hospital. Now, they stating that various political swindlers who have rushed to shout that the pathology clinic of our hospital is understaffed ostentatiously ignored that at the moment the pathology clinic of the hospital has a total of 10 doctors. Anyway, specifically in the medical staff, and they name the staff, they include Mr. Panakostatanu, Mr. Koutis, Mr. Drini, Mrs. Spiru, and another physician who will immediately start working in the hospital, as well as 5 other specialist doctors. Anyway, they also said it is, however, reasonable for some to resort to lies and claim that during Syriza, now Syriza was the political party running the country before the present government, which is now New Democracy, but Syriza was the left-wing party that ran the country. They stated the pathology one was better staffed, so they say that that was an untruth. They also said it is logical because it bothers them that after 5 years of inactivity, the ICU was opened and the intensive care specialist, Mr. Angalotis, whom the previous administration had included in the pathology, is now part of the ICU staff, while at the same time all the necessary actions are successfully launched and adequately staffed in the pathology clinic. They also state, this is the management that's obviously been writing this, it is indeed unthinkable the audacity of some who without any moral restraint do not hesitate to use lies and inaccuracies, spreading panic at a time when Greek society is already under frighteningly great pressure. These, however, are the followers and the followers of the outgoing government. In other words, what they're saying, they're politicising what's going on with the hospital, which took over the Zakynthos General Hospital with 28 organic gaps. And I think by organic gaps, what they're talking about is people that were getting ready to retire and leaving the hospital. So obviously their positions had to be filled, and then handed it over with 31. Anyway, the government that for 4.5 years mocked Zakynthos people for allegedly opening the ICU. I don't know about that, whether the Syriza government was mocking towards Zakynthos. A government that left the paediatric clinic of our hospital ruined and forced the resignation of 16 doctors of the General Hospital of Zakynthos at a time when the appointments in Syriza did not exceed 12. And what they're saying is about the cuts that were implemented towards the hospital. And obviously they weren't allowed to have more than 12 doctors under the Syriza regime, but they're now saying that they have managed to get them 16 from the looks of it. And finally, a government that left the hospital without the necessary financial resources for meeting its needs. Again, when Syriza were in power, it was cuts, austerity. But I think a lot of that was directed by the EU at the time, as they were looking for bailouts, and money wasn't going to be released unless certain criteria had been reached. And unfortunately, healthcare was one of the areas where cuts were made. Anyway, within a few months of the General Hospital of Zakynthos now, it has an ICU, is staffed with 90 nursing and paramedical and support staff, is being upgraded in energy at a cost of 850,000 euros. Yeah, they're putting special energy generators in. I know that was talked about a few months ago. We also secured the Baron in order to give the strong incentives to attract new medical staffs. So basically what they're saying is that there has been an improvement in working conditions for people, probably a little bit of a pay rise as well, but they are actively trying to find new staff to fill the vacancies that they still have. Also interesting as well, and I wasn't aware of this, at the same time we are proceeding to change all of the machines of the artificial kidney unit while we implement the digitization of the entire radiological department. So basically they're getting new equipment in the area of the X-ray department, so that's going to be digitalized, so that should be a better service. And also as well, the kidney unit, they're also going to be getting new kidney machines as well, because people still need dialysis here on the island for those people that suffer with kidney problems as well. And finally, they say, as for the lawsuits referred to by the Pacific owners and the former member of the administration of the General Hospital of Zakynthos, the only lawsuit that will have a serious basis and reason to be brought is the lawsuit against him for the lies, inaccuracies and panic which disperses. And in the closing statement, he says one phrase fits it. It says, never them again. So what he's basically saying, he never wants to see Syriza running the medical services at the local hospital. I think, in my own opinion, you've got to look at both sides of this. Look at what the doctors in that meeting said on Tuesday. Look at what the hospital administration is saying again today. And obviously draw a line down the middle. There's probably good and bad on both sides. Personally, I think the hospital works really well. I know they're under limited resources, the same as like in the UK. They do the best they can, and normally the staff are probably overworked, underpaid, and that is a problem. And again, the more staff you have, the more treatment that you can get quicker and faster. Otherwise, why would there be a flourishing private sector? But what you've got to remember about private sector medicine care, especially here in Zakynthos, I'm not sure about other parts of the country, but here, when you go for private health care, you will end up, if you need an operation, at the hospital. And the only difference between being a private patient and a public patient is that as a private patient, you may get a room to yourself and a nurse. If you're a public patient, you're in a general ward with other people, and obviously the family is still reliant on you to make sure that you are okay, all right, and do those jobs where the nurses basically do the medical side of things in their day-to-day responsibilities. So again, keep an eye on the hospital. Yeah, the hospital is under pressure. It's still a safe place to go if you're ill. But again, like everything else, it could do with a bit more money thrown at it and more staff. But that's the case everywhere. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, there's always a problem with understaffing and more money needed in a health service. You just got to look at the UK and the way that creaks from time to time. Right, let's have a quick look and see who's tuning in at the moment. Bob Scarp is there. Andy Johnson is watching. Patsy Ann Dobson says, "Good morning, Ginge." I'll give you a wave. At the moment, I've still got this thing saying delete files, and I daren't push it because I know what's going to happen. It's going to all disappear. Just to let you know that show number 20 now is up online. I made that yesterday evening. Really nice time. People popping in and out of the chat room was lovely. The show is just over 2 hours long. You can either listen to it on Mixcloud. It's in the Mixcloud area as audio only. But if you want to see the video and see the pictures and obviously hear the music, then just go to the Dropbox on my Facebook page and then just download it. You can either pay it directly from the Dropbox, so you don't need to download it, or you can download it and watch it at your leisure whenever. I have decided now on Christmas Day that I am going to do a short morning show for Christmas Day, because a lot of people are going to be in a position, especially in the UK, where you're in tier 4. And in fact, while I was doing the show yesterday, that's when people started coming in and saying, "Ginge, we've just gone to tier 4. Christmas is over. I know this affects my mum. I've still got, as I've said earlier on, I've got to speak to the nursing home today to find out what's going to happen in regards to them. But people in the areas that have been thrown into tier 4, effectively, you're on your own over Christmas, unless you're a vulnerable person where you're then allowed some company. But again, effectively, Boris has cancelled Christmas. There's a very nice Boris tune, actually, that I put up yesterday, which from a guy called Joe. Absolutely awesome. Well worth a watch and a listen, all right, because it is rather visual as well as audio. But anyway, I'm going to do a Christmas Day show, but it'll be early, just for a couple of hours, get you in a mood for Christmas wherever you are, online. And obviously you can watch that, okay, and hear the music, and hopefully get yourselves ready, because don't forget, you're 2 hours behind us, so it's going to be a bit early in the morning when you're opening whatever meagre presents you've been able to get hold of. because either it hasn't arrived yet or it's been stuck in the post office. Anyway, there's more people popping in. Maureen Elves is saying hello. Anthony Wells, Tony Wells over there in Spain is also tuning in as well. I'm going to have to go and I'll get this up online for the people on the Greece's daily bulletin board so they can share what goes on. And I hopefully will see you again tomorrow, all taken care. And I'll probably spend the rest of the day trying to sort my tablet out, get rid of these files that wherever they are, and obviously get a bit of a smoother run. But anyway, as I speak, the sun is definitely coming out. The boys across the road working hard, getting the olives still in, and can't believe it is not far off Christmas. Anyway, catch you later. Take care. Be good. Ta-ra.